This is rental car number 107. Today I'm driving the 2018 Chevy Colorado LT. This one's got a 3.6 liter V6 engine. It's got four-wheel drive. It's a crew cab, and it's a short box configuration. You know, when I started doing these, I didn't really understand what short box meant. It just means that the bed of this truck has a shorter length. This one has a 61.2 inch length bed in the back. Hope that helps. Anyway, let's pop open the hood and take a look underneath. This one has, as I mentioned, a 3.6 liter V6 engine. It's a VVT. It's got an 8-speed automatic transmission that kicks out a total of 308 horsepower and has a towing capacity of 7,000 pounds. Wasn't sure if 7,000 pounds was good or bad, so I just searched one of the competitors to the Chevy Colorado, the Ford F-150, and that one has a towing capacity of somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 pounds. So I think 7,000 pounds is pretty decent because it's right in the middle. This one gets pretty decent gas mileage considering how big a truck this is. 17 miles per gallon in the city, 24 on the highway with a 21-gallon fuel tank. Gas by me is around $2.80 right now. We're talking November in the Chicago suburbs. So that means you can fill this thing up for about $58. All right, so now that we talked about all the specs, let's quickly talk about what it's actually like to drive the Colorado. I generally like driving pickups. I enjoy being higher up because it gives me better visibility, and I like that added power that you get with most trucks. And you get both power and visibility with the Colorado. Acceleration is nice. I certainly didn't feel like the fastest car on the road, but I also never felt like I had to wait for the Colorado to catch up with what I was asking it to do. Handling is also nice, although I didn't feel completely stable around every curve. The truck didn't slip or pull, nothing like that. I just didn't feel as stable as I'm used to, and that's probably me because I've been driving so many sedans lately. So I was expecting the truck to feel a little bit different than it actually did when it went around a curve. But anyway, I'm rambling here. Long story short, the Colorado accelerates well, it handles just like you'd expect, so all in all, it's a great ride. And cabin noise is pretty decent too. I've left the sound on throughout this whole little clip right here intentionally just to give you a feel for what it's like while you're driving. And although you do hear the wind, whooshing through the windows and the doors, it's totally bearable, and you can hear what's playing on the radio without having to strain. All right, so let's jump inside the Colorado so I can show you all the bells and whistles that Chevy has added to this truck.
So here's the key fob, pretty simple. Panic button with a lock and unlock buttons above, nothing on the back. It's super light, by the way. You get a physical key for this one, not too special. And you insert it right here to the right of the steering wheel, just like you'd expect. Steering wheel itself is pretty simple. Cruise controls on the left-hand side. Controls to interact with the center display on the gauge cluster right here, along with phone buttons. One of my favorite features for the steering wheel is that you do have volume rockers on the back of the steering wheel. It's just real intuitive and makes it easy to adjust things while you're driving. Gauge cluster, pretty nice. You have a number of dials here, right? RPMs on the left, speedometer on the right, 2 gauges up top, right, for temperature and for your gas. Got a full tank right now. Center display, not center display, but the display in the center of the gauge cluster. Pretty nice. Bright colors, pretty easy to read because those fonts are real large. And you have a few screens that you can see. Trip counter, you can cycle through speed, some other basic information about the vehicle. So this isn't the best one out there, but it's pretty nice. To the left of the steering wheel, you have a number of buttons. You have your child locks. You can turn on and off the ability to have your passengers open the windows, basic window controls, mirror controls up here, lock and unlock buttons right by the door latch, and then you have a dial right here to control the brightness of the screen. You also have a dial to adjust the headlights and shifting through 4-wheel and 2-wheel drive. Side view mirrors are pretty basic, no blindside detection on this vehicle, although you do get a cutout in the upper left-hand corner to give you a wider view of the road. That cutout is not available on the passenger side mirror. Up top, there's a sunglass holder. Pretty simple buttons to adjust the lights inside the vehicle. And then on the rear view mirror, you do get an OnStar button along with panic buttons up here. Down below, there is a small storage cutout right here. I found this pretty perfect to keep my toll pass, but it's also nice if you want to put your cell phone there or maybe some other odds and ends. It is a little bit strange though. If you look at it from this angle, it kind of slopes downward, so anything you put up there you can't really see while you're sitting in the driver's seat. Below there we have the center display. This is a touch screen and it has dedicated menu buttons right up top. As you'll see, it's pretty responsive, which is nice. Not all of them are this quick to cycle through things. Has all the basic features you'd expect. I was able to connect my phone via Bluetooth pretty quickly without any problems. And then you also have larger menu screens. I didn't show you this initially, with big icons. This is something I like to make it real easy to cycle through all the features and find what you're looking for pretty quickly. There are dedicated buttons down here to help you navigate through some of the features. You also have climate controls down here in the form of two pretty large dials. You'll see that when you do adjust things, you do get pop-up screens right on the display itself to show you what you're doing, and that's nice. Down below there you have a number of other buttons, hazard buttons, the toggle to switch on and off traction control. There's a light in the back, and also if you're going to tow something, you can activate that feature right here. Small storage space under there. Not really sure what this would be useful for, but it's there. And then down below you have another storage space with a USB port, an auxiliary jack, and then a power port right here. Gear shift is pretty large, pretty manly. It's got sport shift capability right here on the left hand side. Shifts those gears pretty smoothly. Two pretty good size cup holders, although I had a standard water bottle right here that I bought while I was driving around today. You'll notice it doesn't fit very well. So this, it would be nice if this was expandable. Most of the ones that I've been using lately are expandable, but not this one. Another little storage cutout right here. This is where I've been keeping my cell phone. You also have an armrest that opens up to reveal, a little bit of storage space along with another USB port. And you also have a glove box. You reach over. Decent size with plenty of, what is this? Wow. Maybe a funnel? Looks like a funnel. Probably to help you add fuel, because you have the capless technology on this one, so you might need an adapter like this if you're using a gas can. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Nice size glove box, nothing special here. Opens and closes fairly easily. All right, so let's jump in the back seat so I can show you around a bit. First off, legroom back here is really abundant. I have this seat pushed back a pretty good ways, and I still have about 6 inches of room between the back of my knees and the back of that seat. No pockets on the back of the seats. I've had that a lot on the Nissans I've been driving lately. However, you do have 2 USB ports down here on the back of the center armrest, and then also a power port right here, along with a small storage space right here that I don't think will be that usable. A couple other things I like to look at. There is a center armrest with 2 cup holders. And then the car seat anchors appear to be pretty shallow. You can actually see them without manipulating the seats, so that should make it pretty easy to install a car seat back here if you need to.
Another great feature about the back seat is that they can be folded up and down. So, for example, if you pull up on this little switch right here, you can fold the bottom of the seat up and reveal a small storage space underneath. This is great for storing tools and some other odds and ends. Now, you can also pull down the seat by pulling up on this small tab right here. The seat folds forward without any effort at all, and then you have a nice flat surface to store some larger items back here. Manipulating these seats is very simple, takes very little effort, and it's pretty useful. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about is the bed in the back of this pickup truck. As I mentioned before, this is the short box. That means that the length of the bed back here is only 61.2 inches long, but as you can see, you still get plenty of room back here to haul things. The wheel wells do infringe on the space a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. You also get a standard bed liner back here that looks like it can take some pretty heavy-duty punishment without breaking. And then finally, the payload capacity on this one is 1,574 pounds. That's quite a bit more than I've ever hauled with a pickup truck, but maybe you do more than I do. And then finally, it's worth noting that underneath this area, there is a full-sized spare tire that looks like it's pretty easy to get access to. Alright, so that's pretty much everything end-to-end on this truck. I gotta say, considering all the features you get on this one, I think this is a pretty good deal. This one retails for about $32,000, and when you consider that you get some decent tech, a nice sized back seat, and some good power, I think this one is a really good value, and well, I would gladly drive it again. Anyway, that's my take on this one. If you feel differently, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you join me next time when I rent and review my 108th rental car. I'll see you then.